Hello, good afternoon to everyone. Thank you for your presence here in this last webinar of our series of webinars. What's in it for me? It's a webinar series for students under Unite, our European University Alliance, in which we are working together as 9 universities from different countries in Europe. And in this webinar, we will speak about managing mobility, how Unite manages mobility of students with special needs. We already had some other webinars during the day, so this one is the last one. And yes, we would like to present you how Unite is taking care of this theme of the mobility of students with special needs. And for this purpose, we will have with us 2 speakers today. We have Carla Bora, our colleague from also University of Lisbon. She used to work in an inclusion office of one of our schools. Nowadays, she works at the unit of health and well-being at the central services of the university. And on the other side, we also have Bruna with us, Bruna Luis, who is a former student from University of Lisbon. She had the opportunity to experience 2 different mobilities within Unite. As a student with special needs. So thank you for being here, and I will pass the word to Carla. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria João, and thank you. My name is Carla Bora, as Maria João has said, and it's an absolute pleasure to welcome you today and before we discuss this great importance of students with specific needs in our universities and doing mobility programs. About mobility programs, I will not talk about, mobility programs. I will talk a little bit about Virtual Inclusion Office work and about our project that comes from United Alliance, IDEM, that there we make some research about what is this about mobility with underrepresented students. I'm the coordinator of the expert team from Community 3 Virtual Inclusion Office VIO, and I'm going to make to talk briefly about our motivations and work and about this other project in them. For us, inclusion and diversity, accessibility, and equity is really fundamental, and is really important to shape this global thing and this accessible academic environment. So how are we doing this? We are doing this about some work. And before we can work on the mobility, because we can work on the mobility at the same time, because we have Erasmus office, and all of our 9 universities has offices where you can go and ask for help in this kind of mobility for students with specific needs. And also we have a grant to support these mobilities. Students with specific needs has a grant, then Maria and Tani will go talk a little bit on the end about this grant to make short or long-term mobilities. And I think this is really important to create this environment and to make you to go on mobility. But I think the first thing, and is the core of Virtual Inclusion Office, is really to create these transversal trainings, transversal common repository, transversal certification to open and to change our mindset to this model or theory of design, universal design. Sorry, I was talking in Portuguese. Universal design. And I think this is really important. First of all, you have to, it's not first of all, but we have at the same time to open our minds and to create space for all students. All students can go in mobility. And for that, we have some work done. The common repository is a hub of best practices. So you can go to Metacampus, you can see all the things that we produce there, like toolkits for accessibility documents, toolkit for accessible events, the United Charter of Diversity and Inclusion, and also accessibility workshops. Then we have the training programs, and at the training programs we have the 21-day challenge, 21-day diversion and inclusion as challenge. We have the ideal podcast, and you can find it on the Unite Alliance and on the site. And we have the workshops, psychological safety, digital accessibility, belonging, and unconscious bias that we offer on our on the dialogues. I think it's really important to do these trainings and to see these trainings, because it's the way of inform and to open our community. And if you think about belonging, one of the problems that we have is to engage students, okay, and to make students go in mobility. And if the students feel that they belong, the students feel they have security, they can go in mobility. This is one of the important aspects of mobility. Other thing we have is the certification, and we are going to make a second edition. It's the third edition of 21-day challenge, and is going to have a certificate. So then we are going to invite you all to participate, because it's really interesting. And we are going to create an accessibility stamp to put in our standards that will certify courses and training programs that meet high accessibility standards across the Unite network. So I think it's going to be a huge step, and it's going to be really nice. About EDEM, EDEM is now in the end. We are making the final report, but in the EDEM we develop a methodology with students, with underrepresented students in mobility. To understand what is to mobility. So we developed this we developed and in this development we have three things: the exclusion appeared, the self-exclusion appeared, the importance of short-term mobilities, and appear the security environment, psychological security environment. So the three things. The self exclusion appear because our beliefs, we believe that we are not safe, we believe that we cannot do the thing, we have lots of kind of beliefs, and the students with specific needs, underrepresented students have the same, that if I go, I'm not secure here, I'm not secure in another universe, in another university, well, then we don't do the mobility, so it's not so good. And then we have this the opposite thing, that is the psychological safety environment. So if we create security in our universities, so all the students can go and feel secure, and that belong in that universities is really important also. And in the end, one of the things that results with students to unrepresented students is the short-term mobility, because you can go 3 days, still 3 days, 5 days, until 30 days. So it's a secure space. You can go for a few times, you can come back quickly for your country. And then if you want, and if you experience it, and if you have a good experience, you can go to a long-term mobility. So now I pass to Bruna, because Bruna had made the EDAM. Bruna had made EDAM, and I pass to her, because she has this amazing experience, and I want her to talk about it. So thank you, Bruna.
Hello, I'm Bruna Luis. I studied at the University of Lisbon. I was a student with special needs due to a vision impairment. As Carla mentioned, I participated in the EDEM project, where my role, along with the role of the other participants, was in a first stage to identify problems felt by the students in terms of inclusion, and namely barriers imposed by themselves and imposed by the lack of support provided by the universities. And what I mean by that is sometimes the students that are underrepresented or that have special needs like me, they tend to self-exclude themselves because they think they're not prepared for that reality of being abroad. What I mean is sometimes an obstacle for a person who has no disadvantages or disability seems like twice or 3 times bigger of a problem for people underrepresented or with special needs. And what makes it worse is sometimes the information is not well spread in the universities, or it's not that accessible. And with EDEM, we try to identify those problems, and in a later stage, we in a joint development, we proposed some measures for the universities to implement, and then that way mitigate the students' feelings on self-exclusion for doing mobility. Participating in this project allowed me to take part in 2 short-term mobility experiences, one in Grenoble and the other in Barcelona. Firstly, the idea of going to another country with people that were not my family or friends was frightening, because being a person with impaired vision requires some personal and practical support that I usually receive from these people. And plus, the idea of being alone in an airport for the first time, because it was my first time flying on top of that. It made me nervous. But in the end, I met incredible people, like Carla, like Maria João, and they helped me, and it turned out to be an amazing experience. On top of that, I got to meet different cultures, and I got to meet new cities, and now I feel grateful that I didn't give in to my fear in joining those mobility experiences, because it was truly amazing, and it allowed me to personally grow. For example, I learned to put my fears into perspective. For example, I established this mindset like, will this still be a problem tomorrow, or will this still be a problem next week or in 6 months? And that really helps you put your problems into perspective and help me to overcome my anxiety. However, I still want to say, and I like to emphasize this, one should go on mobility if they really want to. What I mean by that is you should not feel pressured to go if you don't want to. But if you do want to, if it is your dream, mobility should be accessible to all. But someone should have the option to choose whether or not to go, and not because they're imposed or feel forced or feel self-excluded on not to go. So you should have freedom of choice and put your cards on the table, and that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Bruna. So now you can have a slide, Maria João, with the links. And if you can put the slide, please. We have the links for our common repository. You have the links for the EDEM project also, because EDEM project has these 3 phases that Bruno was telling. It's okay, so you can, if you want, then we can send it to you. And now we pass to Maria João and Tanya to talk about the mobility.
Thank you for sharing the Unite approach to this common understanding that exists within Unite about mobility for underrepresented students and people, and the common work that has been done among our universities in order to foster and to enable the mobility of all within the Erasmus Plus program regarding the possibilities for students. Students can go on mobility for studies, for a period of placements. They they have the possibility of doing long-term mobility from 2 months to 12 months, or short-term mobility from 5 days to 30 days, which can be a very easy, not easy, but more easy possibility to start and to see if they feel comfortable going on abroad for some time, and then if yes, maybe start for a long-term mobility. There are also blended intensive programs within Unite. We organize some of them, and we have special vacancies for Unite students, which are programs that have a virtual activity combined with physical mobility from 5 to 30 days again. For students with fewer opportunities, and specifically for special needs students, there is also some inclusion support amounts that can be that students can apply on beside their grant. So it's another grant to support with real cost support when there is a special need situation that has costs included. And besides that, also students which need more money to go on mobility, there are these, because of low income possibilities, for example, the program has also top-up amounts to their grants, so the students can receive a top-up amount. Nowadays, the economic difficulties, it's not so well, it's not a barrier. The program wants all the students to go on mobility and to have this possibility to go abroad, and so the grants are increased for students that need these amounts. And just to tell you that if you want to do a mobility, you need to contact the International Relations Mobility Office of your university. You also should involve the inclusion office of your university in order to have maybe a tailored response to your necessities and to be able to have a mobility tailored for you, for your specific needs, and that can be adapted to what your needs are. So that's the response from that Unite wants to give to fewer opportunity students. And well, I don't know if you have some questions now. And also if anyone wants to share anything else. Carla also commented in that there is a lot of beliefs that the students have to overcome, beliefs of self-exclusion, and within Unite, well, we want also to provide this sense of security when going abroad. So because of that, we have these offices working together to help the students feel secure when they go in mobility within Unite. There is this network to support you. Okay, so I don't know if it's a minute. Here are the emails of our speakers. If you